You're watching Twin Tier Sunday with Jennifer Sheahen.
Welcome to Twin Tier Sunday. I'm your host, Jennifer Sheahen. A young boy used to walk these streets, facing some challenges that young Elmirans face every day. Dominic used to play right here. A life shaped with crime, bullying, and tragedy that eventually landed him in jail. On the verge of wanting to take his own life, he turned to music, saving his.
What you done?
So why did you do it? You torn this family apart!
I know, Dad. I know. I already know. Stop telling me!
Baby, I'm gonna wait for you.
I love him because he's my grandson!
There's nothing else we can do. Ma'am, what's done is done. And I cannot change it. Anymore. I don't wanna go, I don't wanna be here. I just wanna leave, mama, wanna come back home. And I promise I will do anything, cause I hate it here and I don't wanna be here anymore. I don't wanna go, I don't wanna be here. I just wanna leave, mama, wanna come back home. And I promise I will do anything, cause I hate it here and I don't wanna be here anymore. Taken in prison. I said a lot of things that I never should have said, and I know if I only would have listened to God, I wouldn't be here. I was so hard-headed in my God, Lord, now I regret it. Wow, I can't even imagine how it must have felt when I blamed my mother and I cursed her out. But now that I'm living behind these bars and I'm torn apart, I can honestly say from the mind of a killer in a jumpsuit, Mom, it was never your fault. Never. Sit down, never talk with my father. Tell my girl that I love her so much and apologize to the world's greatest mother. As I look in the face of my grandmother with a gift that I had, I remember. I won't ever forget when I stole from you, lied in your face, and you told me I still matter. Grandma, let me tell you, God, that really hits me. And I remember when you prayed for me, and I know you prayed again right before the murder, cause I heard God, he was telling me, get out of here, run far away as fast as your feet. I would do anything, cause I hate it here and I don't wanna be here anymore. God, I wanna go, I don't wanna be here. I just wanna leave, mama, wanna come back home. And I promise I would do anything, cause I hate it here and I don't wanna be here anymore.
I sat down with Dominic, better known as Harmini now, over Skype. He has been traveling the country for his well-known Christian rap music, but it all started here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, growing up in Elmira was a very significant part of my life. I was born and raised in the projects of Riverview apartment in Elmira, New York, and born and raised in a single-parent home. My mom was the only parent in the home. My brother was there, of course, but his dad wasn't there, and of course my dad wasn't there. And so it was a struggle because my mom was on welfare, and she was born with Tourette syndrome, and it had played a big part in her stress level. And of course, there was a lot of drug activity, within the projects of Riverview. And so not having a dad there really caused me to reach out to male figures that I felt could, affirm me, of being something, having value. And so that's kind of what happened to me is I ended up going to the drug dealers and all of those guys to get affirmation and for somebody to, say, hey, you have value, you have worth.
Harmini went on to explain what may have been the tipping point in his life, something no child should ever have to endure.
When I was 7 years old, one of the very first friends that I ever had, his name was Richard Horsey, called him Jeremy, and he lived across the street on DeWitt Ave. I lived on Madison Ave, so we were really in close proximity. But there was one night when I went over to his house to play, and we were over on DeWitt Ave, and we're in the house and just doing our thing, and it was time for me to go home. And that night it was raining and it got dark early. And so, I told them guys I was getting ready to go home, and I went out the door. And when I walked out the door, I started walking to cross DeWitt Ave over to, my apartment complex on the other side of the street. And there was a man that was there standing in the rain. And so, and I remember his name, and I remember who he was. And my heart froze, because I felt something was really off. And so what ended up happening was he ended up grabbing me and then taking me out back of Jeremy's house, his apartment, and he forced me down onto this concrete slab that was in back of the shed. Usually every apartment in Riverview had a shed in back of the home, and you could put storage and things there. And what ended up happening was he forced me down on that concrete slab, and he had began putting his hands in my pants and pulling down, and that happened 50 feet away from Jeremy's back door.
Elmira is a beautiful city with a select few that have hit hard times. And with headlines that have viewers used to the idea that bad things happen here, it doesn't make it any easier. Harmini, when he lived here, became part of that problem.
Yeah, well, what ended up happening was I think that was probably one of the things that set me off as a kid. No child should ever have to endure something like that. And so when your innocence gets taken at such a young age, it really does something to your mind. It does something to your heart, and I think that's one of the big things that set me, on a path of destruction. And so, by the time I was 10 years old, I lost my virginity at 10 years old. I was smoking weed at 10 years old. I started drinking at 10 years old. I was smoking cigarettes at 10 years old, and that was probably one of the worst things that I could have ever done, because I was reaching out in so many ways for peace and for, to feel good, and the stress of just, life in general. Marijuana became a significant thing in my life that I quickly got, more than anything, probably mentally addicted to. And it caused me to start stealing a lot and lying. And, it was a gateway drug that opened up to cocaine and to crack. And, I was constantly getting in trouble and lying and skipping school and stealing. And then I found myself on PINS, which is a program they had called People in Need of Supervision, at a young age. And I was getting in trouble in school and breaking windows and breaking in houses and breaking in drug dealers' houses. And, I got put on the ankle bracelet for about almost a year. I've been in and out of glove house facilities in Elmira, New York, on Church Street, on Water Street. You know, all the police officers knew my name, as well as all the doctors and nurses in the hospitals, because I was always busting my head open every other day, you know, for doing something stupid. And so I just kind of went that path, and I mean, there's a wealth of information to be talked about in that, you know, in that realm, because most of the people in Elmira, you know, they have this preconceived idea that, you know, when you're in Elmira, it's kind of like you're never going to go anywhere. Like, what dreams can you have? I remember the way that I lived. I remember the people I hung out with. There wasn't much in Elmira when I was there. And, you know, some of the people that I know and I grew up with, you know, they're my age, and, you know, they look like they're 50. The drugs and all the things, it's almost like they've doubled in their age just in appearance. You know, there's a major oppression over that city, and what has to happen is somebody in that city has to make a decision that they're going to be an advocate to help really be the middleman and start motivating other people to change what's happening in that city. And a lot of the people there, I've been there and I've seen people that have extreme talent. There's kids in there that have gifts that are amazing. I'm not the only one that's come up out of Elmira and became something and made something of myself. There's other people too.
Coming up after the break, we find out how Harmini changed his life for the better.
There was a turning point for Harmini. Many people turned to God in hard times. It was no different for him.
Yeah, well, just to be point blank, man, God saved me straight up, just like that. I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was addicted hardcore, man. My son was about to be born. I was by no means ready to be a father. I had nothing in life. I didn't know how to balance a checkbook. I didn't have a license, didn't know how to drive a car. I didn't know how to pay bills. I didn't have any of the basic common skills that everybody else around me had. And so after I had prayed sincerely, I was telling God in the prayer, man, I was straight up too. I was crying, snot coming out of my nose. I was like, God, you know, I'm tired of being this person. I don't want to be this person anymore. I hate myself. I hate my life. You know, I let my mom down. My mom's dead. You know, I had to go to prison. I've been through all this stuff. I'm addicted to these drugs. I have no money. I have this son coming into the world. I don't know how to be a father. I don't have nothing going for me. And I said, I might as well just die, because I have no purpose in this life. And I said, if you don't help me, I'm going to die. I said, if you don't change me or do something, I'm going to die. And I said, if I die and I burn in hell, it's your fault. And I told him just like that in a prayer. I said, God, it's your fault if I burn in hell for the rest of my life and eternity, because right now in this moment, I'm crying out genuinely for help. I don't want to be this person anymore. And so what ended up happening was, right after I had said that and shifted all of the responsibility onto God, this massive peace descended into my living room. It was almost like a tangible fabric. It was that thick that I could feel this peace like a blanket covered over me. And in less than 2 months, after that prayer, all of the drug addictions that I battled since 10 years old, that ADRC couldn't fix, Glove House couldn't fix, jail couldn't fix, rehab couldn't fix, all of these programs and man-made things that are there to help, you know, they do help, but all of those didn't help me. But it was that genuine encounter with God that set me free. And less than 2 months, I mean, from May 05 to July 28th, 05, my brother's birthday, July 28th, I was absolutely set free. I had no desire to do drugs anymore.
I asked him what his music meant to him, and how it can take those who have hit hard times like he once did to a better place.
The only thing I knew how to do was rap. And so I told God, I said, God, I don't know how to work. I never even worked at McDonald's. I have nothing. I said, but there's one thing that I have to offer you. And I said, you can have it. I'll give this to you. I won't cuss in my music. I won't do any of that. But I said, it's yours. And so I began to write lyrics and rhymes based off of my life, based off of stories and things, and I gave it to God. And he opened up a door for me to get in a bilingual rap group, which really, really helped me because it, it started out with me performing and speaking in front of like 3 kids, 5 little kids, and doors began to open little by little. And I went from performing in front of 5 little kids to arenas with over 5,000 people. And so now my gifts multiplied. You know, I gave the Lord the gift of music that I knew that He had given to me. It was all I had to offer.
I just want to go backtrack just a little bit. Just give me a little bit of time.
I get a really lot of great responses for not just my music, but it's the messages. I'm a storyteller lyricist, and so whenever I write music, I always have a message in there that somebody can take away and gain from it. And so whenever somebody listens to my songs, if they really truly listen, there's a lot more underneath the surface. And so I've been getting a lot of great responses. My YouTube videos and music, the views are getting higher. I'm getting more comments. I'm getting more open doors for opportunities, getting more radio play, interviews with television channels, news stations. The I Ran Alive deal that I did, that's an international platform, and I've been on that television show twice. Now I have a manager for my music. I'm getting booked for shows, frequently, and I'm still working on putting things out, and my connections and my reach of influence is expanding more and more and more every year.
Coming up after the break, Harmini tells us why kids in Elmira could learn from his music.
She was a little girl, 6 years old. Her little heart sitting out in the cold. Cause she was waiting for her mama, cause her mama said, wait here, I'll be back. But mama never showed. And although she would have waited there all night, even when it fell asleep under the porch light, she was faced with the pain that her mama's gone. She ain't coming back.
So long, little girl, everybody needs a hug sometime. When they're sitting all alone, time stands still. When the pain from the wound goes so deep, and the burden of the night is so real. But the story of the little girl goes on. A lot of pages in the book thrown, some are gone. Daddy pulled up in the car, had to take her home, cause her mama never came back.
Oh, mommy, where are you? You were gone when I needed you the most. Oh, mom, where were you when my back was against the wall? Oh, mommy, where are you? I was sitting on the porch and I waited for you, mom, all alone when my back was against the wall. Oh, mommy, why did you leave me? I don't understand. I did what you said, but you never came back. You left me there when my back was against the wall. Little girl, 16 years old. The Cinderella is the life she knows. And now her daddy got her cooking and her mama still gone. And a wicked stepmama got her scrubbing clothes. Memories of her mother's face grown cold. She hasn't written any letters, came by or even bothered even calling on the phone. But now she got a new memory on top of mama being gone. Bless that. Got the hand of her uncle, he don't care what he did. And nobody else believing she was slapped for the truth. Now what is it to do? She cries, oh God, please, what am I gonna do?
Oh, little did she know that God heard her prayer.
I asked him to give one word of advice to the hometown kids that might be watching today.
If there was a kid watching this right now, I would tell them that you are valuable, that you are special, that even if your family doesn't celebrate you, even if your mom or your dad isn't there, or you don't have, family that should be there to hug you and to love you and to tell you good job and to tell you that you're going to become something great and to spot the potential that God has given you. Even if you don't have those people saying those things to you, always remember that you have it regardless. It's inside of you. And if you'll make the right decisions and put yourself in the right environment will help to grow and pull out that potential inside of you. If you want to go out and kill somebody, go. You'll go to prison. If you want to do drugs and continue in that path, you have the choice that you can do that. But you don't have to. Be different. Be different than everybody else that's going on around you. Become something. Come out of Elmira. If you need help, if you need somebody to talk to, you can hit me up anytime. You can contact me through my website. Go to harmonyproductions.com. You can get on Facebook. You can get on Instagram, Twitter. Message me. Tell me what you're going through. I would love to be a part of your life and to help you and even answer questions that you might have that's been troubling you, or help you get to the next step of how you can become everything that you were born to be.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Twin Tears Sunday. We'll see you next week.